pastor at St. Paul's United Methodist Church here in El Paso, and we have our favorite readers today, as we do every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. We have Natalie and Auggie. I want to wave and say hello to everybody. If you want to let us know that you are here, we would love to say good evening to you as we are sharing our Tuesday night reading of our special stories. Today we're going to talk about faithfulness, and we're going to read a passage from Genesis chapter 12, and then we're also going to share a couple of favorite stories and poems that we have together. Hi, welcome. Hold on one second, buddy. Welcome. We're glad you're here. If you want to let us know that you are here, we will connect with you in this way. We have our favorite readers here, Natalie and Auggie. Today we're going to talk about faithfulness. What is faithfulness? What does that mean?
I will tell you. It means you will be sad, but if you see a girlfriend, you will marry and kiss it.
Yes, marriage has to do with faithfulness. That's true. And we said that God is faithful as well. So when we talk about faithfulness, we're talking about doing what we say we're going to do every day. So we trust that God is going to do what God says every day. And we do things faithfully to each other. That means being a good friend and being kind. Yvonne says hi. You want to wave and say hi to Yvonne? We're so glad that you are here. We're talking about faithfulness. And Auggie, we see a story about faithfulness in Genesis chapter 12, and so we're going to read a little bit about that this evening, because on Sunday we're going to talk about what it means to be faithful as followers of God. Did you have a question, Auggie? What's your question?
I want to show my poem.
Okay, when we get to the dinosaur part, we'll do that, okay? So in Genesis chapter 12, we have the story of Abraham and Sarah. So we're going to read that together, okay? Natalie, can you look at the book?
Yes.
God loved Abraham, and Abraham loved God. God said to Abraham, "Go where I send you, and I will bless you." Abraham did what God told him to do. Abraham took his wife, Sarah, and his nephew Lot, and they packed up all of their things and went where God told them to go. So we're talking about faithfulness. We're talking about Genesis chapter 12 and God and Abraham and Sarah. And so this is where God called Abraham and Sarah to go where God was sending them. Let's finish the story and then you can ask your question. When they arrived in Canaan, God said, "I will give you this land. I will give you a big family, and they will love me and worship me, and I will be with you." And this is a really important part. "I will bless you, and others will see that you love me." The way that the Big Bible says it is that you will be blessed to be a blessing. That's what it means to be faithful as well, for us to show love and to bless each other in the name of God who blesses us. What's your question, Auggie?
There's 1, 2, 3 people.
Yeah, there are 3 people in the story here.
Mommy.
God and Abraham and Sarah.
Mommy.
Yes.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, there's actually 5.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go on to our next story. We were talking about faithfulness. We talk about how God is faithful. Our pets can be faithful as well. Our dog Cupie was very faithful, right?
And she died.
Yes, she did die. She died in October. But my sister, your Aunt Lily, and her family, Uncle Daniel and Zachary and Natalie, made us this book called "If My Dog Cupie Could Have Talked." Oh, Poppy's here. You want to say hi to Poppy?
Hi, Poppy.
Poppy is their grandfather, and he knew Cupie very well. Yes, we miss you, Poppy. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're all here. If you will let us know and say hi, we'll be glad to welcome you this evening. So this is about Cupie, if Cupie could talk. You're in this book. Auggie and Natalie, if Cupie could have talked, she would have said, "Why get up and leave your bed when you could nap all day instead?" So there's Cupie. There's our dog Cupie, and she is napping. Sometimes Cupie rolled and moved her legs to stretch them above her head. Did Cupie do that? Yeah, she did. We had the best dog, Cupie, and she stretched just like that.
Mommy, guess what?
What?
Where you scratch her belly that we helped her.
We did scratch her belly, and it did help her. It is sad, but we can remember her. Auggie and Natalie, when you walked back in the door, Cupie raced and slid across the floor. It seemed to her that it had been a year since the last time you had been there. Was Cupie always so glad to see you? Yeah. So here's our dog Cupie running to the door when Auggie and Natalie came in. Such a great book.
But my leg is longer than Natalie.
Cupie would have said, I just don't get why you don't shake your paws when you're wet. You're missing paws. You have no tail. You've never even tried to eat the mail. There's a bathtub and Cupie. And there's the towels with your names on them. Did Cupie shake when she was wet? Yeah, she would shake to get dry. Yes, ma'am. Yes, you're doing great. You're doing great. Cupie would have said, it's a silly deal that you use your fork with every meal. Your napkin sits there while you eat. Don't you know it's a tasty treat? Did Cupie try to eat our leftovers? Yeah, she tried to eat anything that was on the table. We'd love to hear about your favorite pets as well. If you want to share in the comments, we would be glad to hear about them. Yes.
Your dog eats dog food.
Yes, the dog ate dog food. Oh, look, there's an airplane with Auggie, Natalie, and Cupie. And how do you know where you are if you keep your head in the car? Did Cupie like to put her head out the window in the car?
Yeah.
There's Cupie.
She always said Cupie.
Yeah, she was silly like that.
Yeah, but when I hold her and I take and scratch her on belly, that we help her when she's on my head.
We like to hold her and scratch her belly. Auggie and Natalie, one thing Cupie knew for sure. She loved you with a heart so pure. If you ever wanted a shoe to chew, she always brought it right to you. Did she ever chew on her shoes?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
But Cupie would say, Auggie, Natalie, I'm hungry and I love you. What a great dog.
I want to eat that cereal.
Yeah. That's Cupie. You gave her hugs and held her tight. You fluffed her hair and said good night. Auggie and Natalie, you were Cupie's very best friends. That love between you will never end. So we always remember our faithful friends, our puppy dogs, and our pets. We miss Cupie very much, don't we?
Yeah.
Did you have a question, Auggie? I'll take it. Sure.
I want to tell brothers and sisters I'm gonna get maggots for a tooth fairy, and I'm gonna make a pot to put stuff in, and I can make a balloon.
Auggie would like to tell his sisters and brothers out there that he is expecting to get some magic from the tooth fairy so that he can do some spells. We'll see how that goes. We'll keep you updated. Yes.
I wanted to tell you that I wanted to say, boys and girls, I can't wait for my tooth to fall because I want to have it, and I want the tooth fairy to come in.
Natalie is also anxiously awaiting the loss of her first tooth so that she can get a visit from the tooth fairy as well. We're glad you're here tonight. Let us know that you're here. We'll be glad to welcome you. Auggie, you ready to read about dinosaurs?
Yeah, but Mommy, is it time to show my dino?
Yeah, so we actually have a friend to show here. We have a stegosaurus. You want to show him? Yes, a squishy stegosaurus. Let me get closer to the camera here. Here we go, Stegosaurus. We love the Stegosaurus in the house. So we actually have a book of poems.
Sorry.
We have a book of poems given by our very good friend Mary Meadows, who passed away last year. So we remember Mary every time we read the books that she gave us. She was a teacher, and so she gave us her library before we moved to El Paso. So this is a book of poems about dinosaurs, and this one is called What If? What if you opened a book about dinosaurs and one stumbled out and another and more poured out until the whole place is bumbling and rumbling and groaning and moaning and snoring and roaring and dinosauring? What if you tried to push them back inside but they kept tromping off the pages instead? Would you close the covers? What would we do if the dinosaurs were coming out of the book? Would we close the covers of the book? We might. We really love poetry in this house, and we also love dinosaurs. So we're reading a few poems about dinosaurs today. So we have a couple here. Well, there's two more that we want to read. This one is called To the Skeleton of a Dinosaur in the Museum. Have you ever seen skeletons of dinosaurs in the museums?
No.
We need to do that. That's a fun trip for the family to take.
And I want to find the multiple cavities and dinosaurs.
Yes, we'll look for bones of both of those. So, To a Skeleton of a Dinosaur in the Museum. Hey there, Brontosaurus! You were here so long before us.
Mommy.
Your deeds can never bore us. How were those good old days? Did you really like to graze? Hold on, let me finish the poem and then you can ask the question. Did you really like to graze? Did you often munch with a prehistoric crunch on a giant tree or two or three for lunch? As you went yon and hither, were you ever in a dither when your head and distant tail went different ways? Did you shake the earth like thunder with your roars and your groans? I wonder. Say it's hard to have a conversation with your bones. Yeah, we learned a lot from dinosaur bones, though, don't we?
Yeah, Mommy. I want to
There are the dinosaur bones.
Yeah. Like in that page because
Yeah, there's one more we're gonna read.
we just that's not really like a iguana.
Yeah.
It's a brachiosaurus.
You're right. They were called. Auggie is our dino expert, so he's telling me now that there is no such thing as a brontosaurus. It's a brachiosaurus. Thank you for correcting that. This book was printed before we knew that.
Wait. This is a brachiosaurus.
I see it. I do. You're absolutely right. You're right. I would not question your dino knowledge. One more poem, and I'll show you the picture ahead of time. It's so cute because he was just referencing that. Oh, Miss Terry's watching. Say hi, Miss Terry.
Hi, Miss Terry.
You are in time for one last poem called Unfortunately. Dinosaurs lived so long ago they never had a chance to know how many kids would love to get a dinosaur to be their pet.
Oh,
Would you love to have a dinosaur for a pet?
yes, but I can make some, and I will have a pet. Get Ankylosaurus animal pet.
And Ankylosaurus? Yeah, absolutely.
Animal vocabulary too.
Yes. We are so glad that you were with us tonight. Please feel free to share this video with your friends. It will be on Facebook later and also on YouTube, and we will look forward to being back with you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. as we share another Bible story and a couple of other stories from our kiddos. Say good night. We love y'all.
Good night. Sleep tight. We love you. Mom, we died well.